It looks like Talksport aren't done with me. Troy Deeney and Sam Matterface and Alex Crook are discussing my appearance with Simon Jordan, that heated clash that we had the other day, and they're getting some mileage out of it. And we're going to react to this. I haven't seen it. My good friend Brian, who you may know from West Ham Fan TV, has sent it to me. So I do not know what to expect. I don't know if they're going to be taking my side. I don't know if they're going to be sticking the boot in. We're going to find out. But before we get into it, let me just make one thing perfectly clear. You know, the protests are simple. It's a simple thing. Sullivan, Brady out of the club. That's what it's about, right? It's not about new stadiums and all of that stuff, right? We was talking about the stadium. I asked what I wanted. My hope is that we can get a new owner and get a new stadium, whether you think that's ridiculous or not.
West Ham United take on Brentford on Monday night, live on Talksport. We're really looking forward to doing the game, but the West Ham fans might not be there in usual numbers. Dan Lawless, the host of West Ham Fan TV, expects there to be a noticeable lack of supporters at the Brentford game this Monday night.
You'll still see some fans there. There are some fans that, just I need to go to the game. I go with my family, or this is the one chance I get. I haven't been to a game all season. Or some people will go there and say, well, I need to support the team. So some people will go. We will truly say, I believe it's going to be noticeable how empty it is. And the fact that I'm on here now talking about it, the boycott's already been successful, no matter how many people go, because it's getting the media attention.
That was Dan Lawless giving us an example of what to expect on Monday night. Do you think there'll be a noticeable lack of fans at the Brentford game?
Maybe, but it won't make any difference to the atmosphere because it's pretty soulless at that stadium anyway.
No, he's not wrong. To be fair.
That was the same West Ham fan that Simon Jordan chewed off the other day, and I sort of see where Simon's coming from. Listen, fans are within their rights to protest. They know more about the day-to-day running of the football club than we do. But I don't really know what the end game is, because I don't see that a boycott is going to force Brady and Sullivan out of the football club. They're not showing any interest in selling their shares. So
this is the sort of short-sighted viewpoint a lot of the media have, and there's people. It's not just media. There's other people. Well, what's a boycott gonna do? What's that gonna do? Because one boycott, they're gonna sell. There is no single West Ham fan, no one involved in this, that is under the illusion that this boycott is going to lead to the immediate sale of the club. It is about constant and sustained pressure. This is one bit of action in a series of protests. So Alex Crook has been very disingenuous here, and like Simon Jordan did, misrepresenting the views of West Ham fans. So very poor from Alex here.
In selling their shares. So as Simon put it, unless the West Ham fans are going to actually club together and put an offer on the table, all this is doing is harming their team, because you've got a new manager in situ. It's his first game at the helm. He's a manager they were all quite positive about when he was appointed. I think the team need the fans behind them.
Very, very intellectually dishonest here from Alex Crook. He's supposed to be a smart guy. He's not showing it right now. This nonsense about the only way to get the owners out is by putting together all our money and buying the club ourselves. It's so stupid, because if that's the case, then Mike Ashley would still be the owner of Newcastle. You'd have Mashiri still being the owner of Everton. There becomes a point where you just get to that stage and go, it's not worth it. For him to sit there and say, what's the point of protesting unless we're going to buy the club? Let's just support the team. If you only do what you've always done, you'll only get what you've always got. And for us, that's nothing. If we just sit there and go, oh, well, I guess we've got to get behind the team, nothing changes. That, honestly, I'm so annoyed at this. It's so stupid. And I don't want to be, like, when I did the last one, the reaction I did, I really wanted to be respectful. But that's really annoyed me. That's a really stupid take. A very stupid take, a very ignorant take from Alex Crook. Let's see what
he's a manager they were all quite positive about because you got a new manager in situ. It's his first game at the helm. He's a manager they were all quite positive about when he was appointed. I think the team need the fans behind them, not outside protesting against the owners.
I was there against Palace.
This is the point, right? And he sat there and said, well, it doesn't matter if the fans... He's contradicting himself. Well, it doesn't matter if the fans aren't there because when it's full, it's pretty silent, was paraphrasing what he said, that you can't tell when the fans are there because it's deadly quiet. So now you're saying, in the other breath, that, well, they need us there behind them. But when we are there, it's so quiet you can't notice that we're there. So you haven't got a genuine opinion, Alex. You're just saying what you think you should be saying to rile up West Ham fans. And good luck. Listen, it's working. Let's see what Deeney... Let's see if Troy Deeney is going to be the voice of common sense today. My God.
The team need the fans behind them, not outside protesting against the owners.
I was there against Palace, and it weren't ram then. It wasn't full. And that, that was very early on. I understand people weren't happy with Graham Potter, but it was very early in the season. There was still an opportunity if you win that game. Does that turn your season? It's noticeable the amount of empty seats anyway. So,
Can you not understand why they're protesting? Bearing in mind that this is a club that at the end of last season spent 6 months doing nothing. Literally nothing. Because their season was over in January. They'd appointed a new manager. The expectation was that new manager was going to come in, get his feet under the table and get them set up for the new season. They did not do that.
Yeah, but where does the blame lie in that situation? Because, again, we've had numerous arguments earlier on in the season about Graham Potter brought his guru in who was going to change it. He came in January. I haven't seen any successful signings in that one that you go, okay.
It doesn't matter who you want to blame. The buck stops at David Sullivan. If you blame Graham Potter, well, then you blame Sullivan for appointing him. If you blame Carl McCauley, well, then you blame Sullivan for appointing him and also for necessarily not giving him the funds or trusting him or appointing it. Everything traces back to David Sullivan. That's where the blame lies. We can't sit here and say, well, he's just, been unlucky several times over. Nuno is our fourth manager in about 16 months. David Sullivan is to blame for that.
Okay, there's the one that you're going to tip your hat on. I think when you look at it from a fan base, again, fan bases are allowed to change because they're emotionally attached. We're not. These were still just a large majority of fan bases that were screaming David Moyes out when they were being successful. So you can't have it both ways. You can't go, well, I don't like that one, I want the next one. It's not how it works. I totally see their frustrations with the board because false promises were made when they left Upton Park.
That's what the root of this issue is.
Of course it is. And
what did they promise? I mean, they promised Champions League football, didn't they? Which was fanciful, but they have delivered a European trophy.
He's got such a smug face. Everyone look at that face. Everyone look at that face. It was promised Champions League football, but they have delivered a European trophy. Great. We all wanted to leave Upton Park to go and move to an athletics bowl that's not fit for football, that we don't own, that's not West Ham, to win a Conference League that didn't even exist when we moved. You're telling me we could not have won that trophy at Upton Park. We needed to move to win that Conference League. Look at the smugness.
Since moving to London Stadium.
But again,
kick on.
It's all justified, isn't it? It's all justified. Brilliant. Doesn't matter what happens now. We can get relegated, but we won the Conference League, so the move was right. Sullivan, we apologise. End the boycott. End the protest. Bang to rights. We have a Conference League. My God, it was all worth it. And don't get me wrong. Love the trophy. Happy for it. We didn't need to move to win it. And I would trade it back in a fucking heartbeat to move back to Upton Park. I don't care what anyone says. Take it back. Take the memories back. Give me back Upton Park. That's my opinion. You don't have to like it.
They did.
But that's because
within 24 hours of doing that, David Sullivan was on this show basically hawking Declan Rice around.
Yeah, but Declan Rice...
Sam Matterface, shout out to you, my friend.
to Arsenal, you can't stop that. Declan didn't sign a
Totally
new contract.
understand
You
that.
had to sell
but
him.
the look behind it wasn't
Yeah.
particularly.
No, I
great.
agree.
Yeah.
Again, optics, but
Yeah.
then David Sullivan doesn't
Optics.
particularly care about optics. He's his
The
own
West
man.
Ham fans do.
Yeah.
But they
their club.
made bad decisions. Lopetegui was a terrible appointment. I think we called that out at the time. We called him the Spanish.
I remember
David
I
Moyes.
called it first.
He's sitting here and he's it's David Sullivan, innit? Oh, it's just Sullivan. It's just Sullivan, innit? What can we do? That's how he is. Don't complain. That's just Sullivan, innit? Sullivan fucking pissing on our cornflakes a day after we win a trophy saying Declan Rice is for sale. This guy. This is some of the worst West Ham takes I've ever heard. And it's not just because I disagree. It's just where it's coming from. It's so dishonest. It's really poor from him. And, you know, usually, like, I will listen to, like, some of his stuff on Talksport and his insights and things on certain things going in football. Not West Ham. But, boy, this is poor, man. And maybe he's just being the contrarian, and that's the process of Talksport. You know, is you got to have someone on this side, someone on that side, and he's having to pick a side that's indefensible.
West Ham is a wonderful football institute. I love their fan base. I really do. But this notion around what West Ham has been for the last, I'm going to say 40 years, it's like the West Ham way. Every time I meet someone, they can't tell me what that is.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. And I don't believe that he's going to West Ham fans going, what's the West Ham way? And they're going, I can't tell you. I don't believe there's a single... Now, the West Ham way may mean different things to different West Ham fans, right? Go on West Ham Fan TV, watch my interview with Clyde Best. He goes and basically sums up what the West Ham way is, right? From Ron Greenwood. That's where it come from. And it was attacking football. It was 1-2 touch passing. It was trying to play football, right? The way the game was meant to be played. That's what it was, right? And we was known for that for many years, and that's how we became many fans, club's second team. West Ham are my second team because I love how they play football. Alan Devonshire, Trevor Brookin, like all of these wonderful football players that we've had. You know, ultimately, to me, the West Ham way is a team that works hard, because that's what all West Ham fans, we demand. A team that works hard, off the ball, on the ball, defensive, low block, offensive, attacking. We're seeing a team that works hard. As long as you do that, as long as we can see you putting in the effort, we're not going to grumble. It does not matter. When we played Arsenal away last season under Graham Potter, we had very little of the ball. We did park the bus, but guess what? Them players put a shift in. They worked their asses off. I was so proud of that performance. So that's what I would ultimately say is the West Ham way.
This is a big game for West Ham, and you've mentioned it. There's a lot of sort of relegation six-pointers, if you can call them that, this early in the season coming up in the next few weeks. But Nuno's got in there. There were improvements against Everton, but they still gave away a lot of chances in the first half in particular. If they don't win this game, then he's right up against it right from the off, Nuno, isn't he? I just don't think these protests are well timed. If you've got a new manager in situ, I think maybe delay the protests and get behind.
As I said the other day, right, to Simon and Jordan and Jim White, there's never going to be a convenient time to protest. These people are never going to sit there and say, yeah, this is a great game. If we put it off now and say we won that game and we got out of the bottom three, and then we went and pushed it to the next game, right, the next home game, which I think might be Newcastle. Don't quote me on that. But the next home game, and we did it then. Well, you know, you're just above the relegation zone. Why are you protesting now? You know, this is a dangerous game to protest. And then we say we won that game, and because after we pushed it off, and then we did it at the next game. After that, you know, and say things are going well. Why would you rock the boat? Why would you? Like, they're never going to sit there and hold their hands and go, yeah, good time to protest. So just do it. We planned this from ages ago. Long before Nuno was even a fucking thought. So just do it. Again, these same people sat there and said West Ham were winning games because the fans weren't there. It's so disingenuous. and dishonest, as I've said before.
On the team.
John Webster says, in recent years, West Ham have re-established themselves as a Premier League club. They've won a European trophy. The fans then wanted Moyes out. I honestly don't know what West Ham fans think they should be. They are not a top 6 team. Questionable if they are top 10. Can't keep claiming the ball. The fans put pressure on Moyes, and now look. Be careful what you wish for.
This is honestly, I hate hearing from non-West Ham fans. Some of them who comment really get it. There's some fans, and I can tell they're proper fans who follow their team, thick and thin, all of that stuff, right? But some of these fucking fans that sit there and say, oh yeah, look, they're not a top 6 team. They should be happy with mid-table. Be careful what you wish for. They wanted Moyes out. They don't realise the bigger fucking picture. And I'm swearing a lot now, sorry about that, because I'm annoyed. But at the end of the day, we're not at Upton Park. We didn't give up our home and move to this shithole to be happy with mid-table. I'm sorry. My expectation, what I demand and expect from what we do as a club has changed. If we're at Upton Park and we're playing decent football and we're mid-table, whatever, nowhere near relegation, then I'm not gonna grumble. You know, at the end of the day, that's fine with me. I weren't managers out back in the day at Upton Park, really. I did get to a point where, I wasn't Big Sam out. At the end of the tenure, like, it felt like the right time to go. But ultimately, I was at Upton Park. I was happy just going to enjoy my team. This is a different West Ham. Stop comparing it. You know, and this thing of not all West Ham fans did want Moyes out. So we're not a monolith. It was very split. And I'm one of the ones who did want to change. But this doesn't mean that we couldn't have made a good change. It was the right time for both parties. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought they was going to lay into me there. They made a little comment and went on to talk a load of nonsense for the most part, apart from Sam and Troy Deeney. I mean, Alex Crook, that's an all-time howler there, an all-time howler. He hasn't covered himself in glory at all. Very, very ignorant, I would say. That triggered me. Really did, that video. Alex Crook, mate. I would love to go on with Alex Crook after this. So if you're watching anyone from Talksport, get me on with Alex Crook and this ridiculous viewpoint that he holds. So apart from that, listen, nothing personal against the guy, but yeah, he was poor. He was really poor there. So let me know your feelings in the comments. Thanks for watching.